Remember ShaNaNa, the Grease and Gold Lame, and goofy hit television show in the 70s?
We got very big. We built ourselves up into headliners.
John Bowser. The famous Bowser move was ShaNaNa's most memorable greaser.
The Bowser character was that kind of greasy but intensely vulnerable character that really did exist in the 50s.
Bowser and the others are in their 50s now, but the music lives on. ShaNaNa sold millions of records, but they never had a hit song of their own. They would interpret the hits of others. In that sense, they were the great pretenders, but it was all good, clean fun. Until one day when a greaser with a great voice came on the scene and managed to fool a lot of people. Not just a great pretender, a great imposter. The story begins in Florida, where doo-wop bands have always been a hit in bars and clubs along the beach.
You put an oldies group up, the people will come.
That's where Tommy Mara's group, the Saints,
everything was boom, 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 boom,
and Joe LoCicero's group, the Mellow Kings, are two of Florida's top local bands.
I love this job!
Both men remember being thrilled to hear that a living legend, former ShaNaNa singer Vinny Taylor, had moved to town.
These are two of the songs that I'm known for from the days of ShaNaNa.
He had a nice ShaNaNa jacket, he had a ShaNaNa gold charm.
Let's take a walk down memory lane.
He talked the talk, and he walked the walk.
The former bad boy of ShaNaNa now had a new stage name, Danny C.
Thank you very much.
He even had his own website.
Hi, all you rock and rollers.
Where fans could log on and see all the rock and roll legends he performed with over his career.
Where are you, little star?
How good a singer are you? I've been told that I am one of the best lead vocalists. A lot of people tell me I've had a God-given talent. But my thing was to make people happy.
Okay, this is a picture we did in a club here. That's me. That's Danny.
Always with sunglasses.
Always with sunglasses.
Joe LoCicero and Tommy Mara couldn't believe their luck when Danny C asked their groups to back him up on stage. You're thinking, this is pretty good. Former member ShaNaNa.
That's it.
We're backing him up. This is terrific.
That's right. I got a good thing going here. Making big money.
We featured Tommy and the Saints. And then we featured Danny C from ShaNaNa.
Sounds like a good show.
Sold it out.
What kind of things do the fans say to you?
They would just tell me that I had a beautiful voice.
He just sings from his heart.
They would tell me that I loved what I was doing. The crowds loved it. And that I gave my all.
The first minute I put eyes on him, I said, he just did it for me. He really did.
For Jessica Hart, Danny C was not just a famous singer.
They put on a good show.
He was the man of her dreams.
He was very much a gentleman, knows how to treat a lady. I just felt safe with him.
A lot of you remember ShaNaNa. I'm the bad boy.
Within months, Danny C and Jessica moved in together.
Our relationship just flowed. It couldn't have been any better.
Life was good. They found their dream home on the waterfront. Danny C had released a new video. But eventually, Jessica started to notice things.
We would be in bed at night, and he would just jump out of bed and run to the window. He never wanted people coming into our apartment. And he would tell me a lot of times, whatever you do, don't bring up the ShaNaNa thing.
He was a little paranoid about a little certain things. If I would talk to somebody, he would ask me, what'd that guy say?
Joe LoCicero also began to sense that something was wrong.
Then I had some people come over to me at some shows saying that he wasn't, the right guy.
What kinds of things would they say? He just doesn't look like the guy?
He's not the guy. He's a phony. That's what they told me.
Tommy Mara had a similar experience.
About 5 minutes after his performance, I seen a lot of ruckus in the back of the auditorium. The owner of the show palace came up to me and said, we got a problem. There's people here that are saying Danny C's a phony. I said, well, it can't be. I mean, he says he's Danny C. He's got the jewelry.
And only then did Joe decide to do some checking.
I called up ShaNaNa. I talked to Scott, and he told me,
He is not a former member of ShaNaNa. We don't know this guy. This guy's a fraud. Screaming Scott Simon told Joe that Danny C. couldn't be Vinny Taylor for one simple reason. Vinny Taylor was dead. Taylor died of a drug overdose in 1974.
and that bothered me when he told me, because I says, why ain't you stopping him?
This guy was a nuisance online. He's not making money on us.
And we don't want to lay out $5,000 for fees for lawyers. To me, something didn't sound right.
Joe LoCicero confronted Danny C.
Pete told me he was Taylor. He was legit Taylor, and that's when he sent me all the proof.
Danny C. sent Joe some documents that he said would prove he was Vinny Taylor.
He sent me a social security card, he sent me a birth certificate, and he sends me this here.
What is this? Baptism certificate?
There's a couple of words spelled wrong here and there.
Like Philadelphia, for one.
Right.
Yeah. Those documents were obviously phony.
We con a lot of people. We con people that you would never think could be conned.
The truth about Danny C. is that for 27 years, he has been a wanted man, a fugitive. And what he was running from was no small crime.
I want him back in prison, or I want to know that he's dead somewhere. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to satisfy me.
Let's take a walk down memory lane.
Like the greasers from the 50s he loved so much, Danny C. thought he had it made in the shade.
I was doing all right with Danny C.
Living the good life in Florida.
Loved the ocean, I liked to fish.
Building a successful career as the former lead singer of the legendary rock and roll revival group, ShaNaNa.
ShaNaNa was my favorite group.
Little did he know, the double life he was leading was about to catch up with him. In New Jersey, a police detective had just been handed an old murder case. Really old. This would have been the quintessential cold case.
Yes, it was frozen.
Lou Kinkle of the New Jersey State Police and his team were asked to find a murderer who escaped from prison 27 years ago.
Here it is. Go get him.
A killer named Edward Solly,
I really wanted him.
who was serving time for murdering his girlfriend's 2-year-old son, Christopher Welsh.
What we understand, the reason why he became upset with Christopher was he didn't like the way Christopher was staring at him at the dinner table. And he just picked the child up, threw the child to the ground, and just continually beat him.
This was murder.
Yes.
Edward Solly was caught and sentenced to 15 to 20 years in this New Jersey prison. He was later transferred to a minimum security facility where he was allowed to go on furloughs to visit his elderly mother. Then there's the third visit.
The third visit, he is not escorted by guards.
Who's taking it?
It's a vocational counselor.
I said, he ain't coming back now.
Harry Bold is Edward Solly's stepfather.
The wife said, oh my God, he's going.
Edward Solly disappeared and was never seen again, at least not under that name. Only his mother knew that Edward Solly was now Danny C., and she wouldn't tell the police where her son was.
Her only son, I guess so. You couldn't say nothing wrong about the boy. You'd have to fight her.
But when Solly's mother died,
So we decided it's time to go talk to Harry. Maybe now that she's dead, we might be able to get somewhere.
He was a no good son of a bitch.
He says, look, all I know is that he's a singer. It goes by the name of Danny C.
He was on the damn stage down there.
Detective Kinkle was about to get the break of a lifetime. A routine web search pulled up, yes, you guessed it, Danny C.'s website.
Hi, all you rock and rollers. This is Danny C.
Did you look at this picture and say,
I'm looking at the tattoo, and it's confirming it for me.
there he was, Edward Solly, the fugitive Kinkle had been looking for, staring him right in the face. And there he is,
Yes.
in living color. You must have looked at this website and thought, we've hit the jackpot.
Yes, now it's too easy.
So the authorities simply went to Florida to pick him up. They found him fishing on this pier behind his apartment building.
The deputy says, Edward, funny things about time he went home. The pole dropped, his knees buckled. The deputy moved in and arrested him.
What was that moment like?
Devastating. Devastating. But what I knew now had totally exploded.
I'm so sorry.
Solly says he never meant to kill the child. The police say that this was no accident. that you really beat that
No,
child?
that's not true.
That you beat him to death?
That is not true.
You're a guy who spent a quarter of a century basically lying about who you are.
I had no choice.
Why should we believe you when you say you didn't kill that boy?
Why should you believe me? Number one, I never had any violence on my record. That's number one. I'm not known as a violent person.
Solly's arrest was front page news in Florida.
Opened a newspaper and I was in shock.
You know, I'm a little disappointed in the guy.
And then there's Jessica Hart,